Hey folks, this is your complete Black Friday deals list, but more importantly, the deals you should buy and the deals you should skip. Because there's a lot of great deals, amazing deals, but there's also a lot of deals where it's like, no, just pass on that. Now, for those of you that don't watch the entire video, up in the corner there, that is where you'll see all the deals. 150 sports tech deals listed on one cohesive page, and I'm just gonna simply walk through that page and talk through each one in a little bit more detail. Note that a lot of these, most of these are available on the European side, not every single one, and sometimes they're better deals and sometimes there are worse deals. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. With that, let's just simply go right into the watch side. Then we'll talk cycling stuff, we'll talk action cameras and drones, and then some of my favorite like random things. Oh, and I put a bunch of the best deals in the description down below as well, just in case you want to quickly grab those and go. Okay, first up, Amazfit has a couple of their watches on sale, at least their most important watches. The Amazfit T-Rex 3 down to $226, relatively it's kind of normal sale price. That's a very strong watch at that price point, or any price point for that matter. It's a very good watch value-wise, a good deal there. The Active 2, another really solid watch, and like there's really nothing on the market, period, that comes with the features that you have in the Active 2 at that price point. As always with the Amazfit though, you just have that like lack of polish that comes through and a lot of weird quirky things, but in the whole, it's an incredible deal if you can overlook some of that polish. After that, you've got the Amazfit T-Rex 3 Pro that came up back in August or so. This is only 20 bucks off. Honestly, given the other deals in this category, this one needs to be like $299 to be a solid deal. So I wouldn't recommend this at this point in time. On the AirPods side, you've got a couple different AirPods that are on sale, the AirPod Pro 3s and the AirPod 4s. AirPod 4 down to 69 bucks, really great deal there. The AirPod Pro 3s at $219, only about 40 bucks off, 30 bucks off. That's a so-so deal. In the past Black Friday, we've seen them down to like $199 for the AirPod Pro series. Still, that is my favorite headphone, and that is what I've been wearing day in and day out. Incredible heart rate accuracy from those new heart rate sensors, whereas you compare to the Beats side and the heart rate sensor, and that is like dumpster fire. This is very, very solid. Also, by the way, I'm looking at my laptop in case you're wondering what I'm looking at right there. Apple Watch SE 3, $199. Incredible deal if you want to get into the Apple Watch ecosystem and don't care about all the other things at the higher end price points. The Apple Watch Series 11 is 50 or 60 bucks off at $399. The Apple Watch Ultra 3, this deal's been coming in and out. So as of this second right now, it's back up at like $770-ish or so, but it's been fluttering back and forth all week long at $699. So if you're looking for the Apple Watch Ultra 3, I would wait until you see a $699 deal. I guarantee it's going to happen at some point again over the weekend. Meanwhile, core body temperature sensors, they've got their previous model at $149 and their newer model at $250. Essentially, they're very, very similar from a tech standpoint. There's some slight differences in the pod design itself. I like the newer pod design. It makes it easier to ensure it stays put, but again, up to you on that one. Coros has reduced the price on both their Pace 3 as well as their Pace Pro. Note, these are not technically Black Friday deals. These are price reductions that were announced as part of the Coros Pace 4 being announced about 3 weeks ago. Nonetheless, it's cheaper, so, you know, good on them. Meanwhile, Form has their Smart Swim goggles, both their previous gen as well as their newer Pro gen. The Pro basically just adds better resistance from scratching on that lens there. I actually dragged it down a concrete pool deck with like all this little grit stuff, and it was flawless. Like I pressed all the way down the entire length of the pool and spot on. Meanwhile, Fitbit has a whole bunch of stuff on sale and some really strong deals this year, notably the Kids LTE activity tracker at 99 bucks. That's an insane price for that. It started off just over a year and a half ago at like $250 or something, and now it's down to 99 bucks. Meanwhile, if we go down from that, you got Charge 6 at 99 bucks. It's normal sale price. Again, an incredible deal for what it is feature-wise, and you get access to the entire Fitbit ecosystem. It still has its quirks between using both GPS and heart rate at the same time from an accuracy standpoint, but if you're primarily using it for indoor activities or don't care that much about GPS accuracy, it's hard to beat that as well. Meanwhile, the Fitbit Inspire 3 at 69 bucks, again, full access to the Fitbit ecosystem, the app and all that kind of stuff, just with less fancy. Now, we're starting to get some of the Garmin deals here. The Garmin Bounce 2 smartwatch that came out 2 months ago as well. This is my 3 daughters have been using, down to $249, so 50 bucks off. This is a great upgrade over the Bounce 1, which is also on sale down to $119. I would say if you're choosing between the two of them, if you have the money to make the Bounce 2 work, it is such a better watch. It allows true voice calling versus the Bounce 1 sends these 20-second messages, which is kind of nice in a way because it just keeps things short. But the Bounce 2 is just a much better watch with much better battery life. Real world battery life is far, far better. I've had the Bounce 1 now for a number of years on our daughters and then switched to the Bounce 2 for testing, and I would say it's worth the premium there. Meanwhile, on some of the dive watches, the Garmin Descent G2, $100 off, the Mark III 250, the Mark III-i, which has the integration, $250 off, the Enduro 3 down to $749. The thing to keep in mind about the Enduro 3 again, the Enduro 3 is simply the Fenix 8 without the voice features. That's all it is. So it's all the same Fenix 8 solar features, all the same software, everything like that, except without the voice bits and the diving bits as well. So if you don't care about the diving and voice bits, and most of you probably don't, this is the watch to get, and it's just always cheaper. It's great. Meanwhile, the Epix Pro is down to $449. This is probably the deal of Black Friday from the Garmin standpoint. Both the Epix Pro as well as the Fenix 7 Pro, basically the MIP and the AMOLED models are at basically $449 to $439, somewhere in that bright price ballpark. They're obviously not getting the newer software features of the Fenix 8 because Garmin, but in terms of flashlight and ECG capabilities and all that kind of stuff, that is all there. That is still an incredible watch that is very, very hard to beat. And that's where I talk about like the Amazfit T-Rex 3 Pro being at, $379, $399. Look, pay the extra $50 to get the Fenix 7 or Epix Pro, which is a far superior watch. They're not even anywhere near the same ballpark of features and polish and functionality there. And that's where I think that other Amazfit watch has to be a lot lower in order to draw people in. Meanwhile, if you want the Fenix 8, it's at $749, $250 off. Likewise, the Fenix 8 Pro is $100 off on Amazon on certain SKUs, certain color combinations. So this does not seem to be an official Garmin sale because it's not offered anywhere else. This is like an Uncle Amazon just doing Uncle Amazon sort of things. $100 off there. I would not expect a Garmin Fenix 8 Pro sale again until probably the spring. Knowing Garmin's like typical sales cycles, they don't generally do sales January, February, March timeframe. They do them again in the April and May timeframe. So knowing that, if you want the Fenix 8 Pro and this particular color suits you, then this is the time to get it, right? It's as simple as that. And of course, Fenix 8 Pro adds the LTE as well as the satellite connectivity for satellite messaging and whatnot. Next up, the Fenix E is $250 off. I mean, or you could just say $50 and get the Fenix 7 Pro, or sorry, the Epix Pro for $449, especially because the Epix Pro $449 will get you the newer optical heart rate sensor as well as get you the flashlight that this does not have. So again, just keep avoiding the Fenix E as well as the Instinct E. They're a trap. Don't do those watches. Anyways, a bunch of 400 deals, $50 off the 165, $50 off the 165 Music, $150 off the 255 Music, and then you get to $150 off the 265 series, which does include Music. This is where I would say you probably should spend your money in this particular realm between all those watches I just mentioned there. Just go with the 265. It has a training readiness, it has all that kind of stuff, versus the 255 doesn't have that. Just my 2 cents. If you're looking for a budget watch, especially for like a teenager that wants to get into running or something like that, I would look at the 455 as a great option there at $149. It's got all the features that you'd want as like a basic smartwatch, all the Garmin, health connectivity features, activity tracking, sleep tracking, all that kind of goodness. But it's just a super durable little watch. Anyways, the 570 that came out this past spring is $100 off at $449. Keep in mind, no maps on that though, so just that's a bit of a bummer. That's why I would probably just go with the 965 for also $449. That does have full mapping on it, right? Like it's a simple thing there. And then meanwhile, the 970, which also came out this spring, is at $649, so $100 off there. Again, if you were looking to pick up the 970, this is the time to do it. You won't see it on sale again likely until that May timeframe, which is the typical Forerunner sale timeframe for Garmin. Instinct 3, $100 off both the AMOLED as well as the Solar editions. Again, this is where it's tough because their competitors, Suunto and Coros in this realm, have watches with mapping for for cheaper than that. And now Garmin had different features, especially on the Instinct 3 solar side with much longer battery life, but do your research there. Check out my full written reviews or video reviews on those bits there. Anyways, Lily 2 is at $50 off. The Tactics 8, $250. So basically all those Phoenix 8 derivatives are $250 off. Venue 3 is $100 off. Venue 4 though is $50 off down to $499. And that just came out about 2 months ago. Venue X1 is at $200 off. That is, I think, one of the best deals here. This watch is clearly not sticking the landing from a Garmin sales standpoint. They've been trying different price points the last little while. The kicker is this watch is basically just a Phoenix 8 and a 400-970 blended together in a thinner profile with the less buttons of the Venue. That's a simple version here. So it's got virtually all the same features as a Phoenix 8 minus the dive features, and you're spending a lot less if you want that thinner watch. Now, of course, with a thinner watch, you have less battery life because there's less battery space. But I rocked this all summer long, and you know, I kind of like it. I do just simply wish it had more buttons, to be honest, though. Anyways, Vivo Active 5, $100 off. Vivo Active 6, $50 off. And then we get into some of the non-Garmin watches. So get past that giant wall of Garmin stuff there. It's just alphabetical, by the way, in case you haven't figured this out by now. Google Pixel 3 is $200 off, but the Pixel 4 watch down here is $299. So that's basically $50 off. And then the LTE editions are $100 off. Between these two Pixel watches, get the LTE edition because it has these satellite connectivity pieces. Even if you don't subscribe to LTE at all, that'll still work for the emergency components. And then at some point, if Google decides to expand that out beyond just emergency pieces, which I have a very strong feeling they're going to do, probably sooner rather than later, then you're set and ready to go. So again, spend the $50 now to regret it, not regret it later on. Back up here, that Oura watch is $100 off, sorry, Oura Ring, $100 off at $249. The lowest price we've seen for Oura stuff ever, really. So it's good to see that there. Polar has their typical sales here. The H10 at $84, the H9 at $59, and then a bunch of watches that Polar's US pricing. Their European pricing is fine. Their US pricing is just absolutely bonkers, and it just does not make sense for any of these models at any of these prices. They are way overpriced at this point in time. But you know, hey. Anyways, Polar Verity Sense for the heart rate band is at $89. I like this band quite a bit, so that's something to keep in mind. A bunch of the Shox bits are on sale for various amounts, between roughly 20 and 30% across the board for these different headphones. Samsung Galaxy Ring, $120 off. The Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra, the 2025 edition, is $100 off, and then $70 off the Watch 8, which is again the 2025 edition. Suunto also has their headphones for 20% off, 22% off, and then we get into some of their watches. Their Ocean, which is basically their variant of the dive variant of things, has a discount, and then the Suunto Race itself is $50 off at $296. That's a great option, a great alternative to the Garmin Instinct 3 series because it has the full mapping on it, has incredible GPS accuracy, has really good battery life. The same with the Race S, down to $279, just a little bit less GPS battery life. It's as simple as that. And then the Suunto Run at $199. Suunto Run is a newer watch and it has a bunch of the newer features on it, but I think if I was to choose between these two, I would probably still scroll up here to the Suunto Race S because of the back-end software and hardware platform that it's on is going to get more updates longer. And you get the Suunto App Store as well. Meanwhile, the Suunto Vertical is down to $519 for solar, and then for non-solar at $339. Again, if you really want that long battery life, this is definitely a contender there and does have mapping as well. On the final little bits here in the W's, we have the Wahoo Tracker Heart Rate Strap at $84, and we have Whoop at $199 for the Peak, and basically $60 off for the Life, which should say $299. Not sure why it says $60, but $299 there. And these are for the annual subscriptions. That does include the hardware. I have up here the MG version. You'll see that review in the next 2 full days, 2 days, give or take. By and large, it's pretty positive. It does what it says it's going to do. The accuracy's been pretty solid there across the board. I got some quibbles as always, but I think on the whole, those are good options. And obviously, some of my quibbles are technical, and some of them are like how the company has run business, especially in relation to the Whoop 5 rollout and everything like that, that we can talk about in a separate video. Now, let's talk some cycling gear here. From a power meter standpoint, Vivero has all of their pedals on sale. Some solid deals there. So they've got their older ones down quite a bit, but most notably, they've got their newer stuff. So the Pro MXs and Pro RSs down to 589 and 599 euros. They just do math automatically on your conversion rate to your currency. So you just take that and run with it. Those are great pedals. I use them as a reference device on tons and tons of things. Garmin Edge 1040 down to 399. Very, very solid deal there. But probably the best cycling deal is actually the Edge 540. In fact, this is a 540 solar. There we go, right there. Boom, at 249, which is insane. Like, there's nothing that beats that in this price range. Not from Chorus, not from Wahoo. I'm like, it's all very, very solid prices. And if you want the touchscreen, then that's the Edge 840. It basically $100 more. My wife uses this for all of her rides. It works great. And then down below that, you've got all the Raiders on sale. Pretty much their normal sale prices. So $149 for their main Raider, still not USB-C, which is mind-boggling. They also have the front-facing camera, only $50 off. Like, they could have tried harder on this one. Hammerhead Crew is $55 off, and then the Wahoo Ace is $499. And the Wahoo Roam is like 70-ish or so bucks off as well. Now, from a Smart Trainer standpoint, Elite has their Dredo XR at $479, but Wahoo's deal that I'm talking about just a second kind of makes that pretty tough. Peloton has all of their bikes on sale for roughly $300 to $700, depending on which model you're talking about. Tacx has their normal prices here, $899 for the Neo 2T, though on the US side, the Neo 3M is 25% off down to $1499. Clearly, Garmin has been trying different prices with the Neo 3M in the last month and a half, 2 months, trying to figure out what works, and so hopefully that's something that's going to be kind of the standard going forward. Kicker bike is down to $1912, so basically $600 off. Very, very solid bike, one of my favorite bikes they make. But the real deal here in the cycling side is this Kicker 2, which just came out 2 months ago at $399, and that is with either the Zwift Call, you can kind of barely see it right there, probably can't see it, or the regular cassette that's on this one here. So you choose which one you want. That's a great deal. And if you want the higher flywheel of the Kicker V6, that's also on sale for $734. It's like $300 off or so, give or take. Okay, so next up we got some of the action cameras and drones. Lots of interesting deals in here. Keeping in mind that DJI will cease selling products in the US on December 23rd. That will undoubtedly impact some of the support side as well longer term. Short term, probably not as much. But in any case, the Action 4 is $100 off at $199. Very, very solid deal at that budget price point, especially when you compare it to something like the GoPro Hero 4K or GoPro Lit, and especially where you just have a lot more features and stuff in this Action 4 at this price point. Now below that, the Action 5 at $259. You got the Avata 2 bundle, $110 off. The Flip at $90 off. Don't buy the Flip. Like, this is, DJI makes many incredible drones. The Flip is definitely not one of those drones. Just a hot mess. Instead, go buy the Mini 4K at $239 if you want more scenic stuff, and if you're looking for more tracking stuff, then get the Neo 1 at $159. Now, the Neo 2 did come out just 2 weeks ago at $239, but you can't really buy it in the US, so just keep that in mind. But if you find a deal on the Neo 1, you're talking European and stuff like that, in that case, I think the Neo 2 is dramatically a better product. In all of my testing, you'll see some of the videos up already, some of them coming up over the next couple days, but I think it's probably worth it for the extra features, but that's just me. The Osmo 360 at $357, yeah, so. Osmo Pocket 3, what I'm filming this on right now, is $280 off at $529. The GoPro Hero 13 Black is at $309, about $100 off for that. And the Hero 4K, that's the one without the light, it's a $179, and the one with the light at $229. They're virtually identical cameras underneath the hood. The only difference is really that the LED light on the lit. The problem with that is that it takes really bad night video, so the light, it helps a little bit, but it's still like bad video at night. So I just would go with the smaller regular one if it were me. Any case, the GoPro Max 2 is $50 off. It should say $399 right now there at $399, so that's a great deal on that. It just came out. And then the Hover Air X1, this is the base little drone they've got at $237, another like virtually indestructible drone. I just love this little drone. If you want the higher end units, you've got the Pro and the Pro Max at various amounts, basically like $300 off, $250 off. off, etc. From there. The Ace Pro 2 is at $334. This is my other like main daily driver camera that I use quite a bit. A great camera, great integration into our Garmin ecosystem for overlaying data after the fact. Love it. The smaller 3S is at $279, and the also really new Ultra is also out as well at $379. So good deals there. And then finally the Insta360 X5, their premier flagship 360 camera at $464. So great deal. Now a couple more sport tech things here. Keep in mind, Garmin's Index blood pressure monitor, this is a medically certified one, is $40 off. The InReach 2 is probably one of the best deals on this list as well, down to $249. That allows satellite connectivity, satellite communications when you're out of cellular range. Great deal there. And if you want to be able to send images with your phone, you can use the InReach Plus at $349. And then there's a couple more things from there. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget all the deals in the corner up there, as well as some of the best deals down in the description there. With that, have a good one.